Hi, Tim here. So really not long to go now until our very last term of music making in 2016. This coming Monday we have our first rehearsal with Pat as an official member of the King Singers, so everybody is really excited about that. A few of us met up over the summer holidays, which I'm sure you saw on recent Facebook posts. And this was really just to start making sounds together with Pat. One whole day was spent with just me and Pat, and hearing those countertenor voices just together, no other voices. You could really hear the nuts and bolts of both voices sort of laid bare, and we could really get to know each other's voices as well, which is so important when you stand next to somebody. We really worked on the blend of the voices. It's something the King Singers has really become known for, and it's of paramount importance. You know, something we pride ourselves on in the King Singers is this blend of six voices. And when somebody new comes into the mix, it's important to actually isolate those sounds and work out how they can be improved. For example, Pat's voice is very different to David's voice, of course. No two voices are the same. You know, the basics are that Pat has the same range, similar range of tessitura to David. Of course, he wouldn't have got the job without that. But that's really just the start. We need to work out what vocal colours Pat has right now and what vocal colours he needs to attain in a very short space of time in his first few months in the job. When someone new does join the job, of course the individual is working like crazy to try and fit in with the other five voices, the five remaining King Singers. But it's also important for the remaining five to be flexible and to listen to Pat. This is something as simple as something like solo lines. So if Pat has a solo line, he might want to do it differently than David wanted to do it. In terms of tempo, it might be slightly more flexible in time. He might even want to do the piece at a different pitch, so he might need to change the key of the piece. So all of us need to remain flexible in that. And when a new person joins, the group does jiggle slightly in terms of these sort of issues, and it's important that we do, because no two voices, as I mentioned before, are the same. That doesn't, of course, stop Pat really working so hard to listen to his left, listen to the intonation, the tempo of the piece, the text energy is something we talked about a huge amount in the session that I had with him. I remember David speaking in my first masterclass back in early 2009. I think we were in a high school in America, and David said that the one gift that we have as singers compared to instrumentalists is the text. And that sort of piece of wisdom really stayed with me, and the priority that text is given is so important as singers, and it really needs to be at the top of that hierarchy list. It's going to be pretty odd standing next to somebody apart from David. Of course, I've stood next to David for very nearly 8 years. And that works out at something around 900 concerts. He was inspirational as a colleague, and I learnt a huge amount from David on stage and off stage. It was really as when you start the job. Of course, you're like a sponge. You're absorbing things every day, musically and non-musically, and even little things like turning up on time to leave the hotel before we rush to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning, making sure you're backstage in enough time to just prepare yourself, get in that zone before you go on stage to perform. Little things like this I really took on board when I joined the job, and I want to thank David so much for being such a wonderful colleague. We are all of us are so grateful for everything David did for the King Singers during his 26 plus years. An amazing tenure, an amazing voice, an amazing inspirational colleague. So thank you so much, David. Um, but Pat, or Patty, as he likes to be called, is now in the mix. So he's fitted right into the dynamic of the group. It was really evident to see straight away when he came on his shadowing patches. Now, a shadowing patch is a patch when you first start in the group. You come along on tour with the group and just observe the group, really, how the group operates on and off stage. And if there's some time to rehearse as well, that's a bonus. But of course, we are so busy on tour, it's sort of clutching 15 minutes here, half an hour there with the new guy. But we did rehearse with Pat, and he's doing a fantastic job of learning all the repertoire, memorising as well. Memorising is such a big part of being a King singer. So he's memorised lots of close harmony music. And also he's got to grips with some of those tricky languages that we sing in. He's got some Estonian coming up, and also what other languages? We've got a piece in Brazilian Portuguese, Chico Chico no Fubá from our postcards disc, which is a great fun song. I'm sure lots of you have heard. What other news? Well, we're still using our iPad Pros. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear. And Fourscore, which is the music application, the music reader application that we are using. It's absolutely incredible. The chaps seem to still like using the iPads, which is a relief. The iPads haven't turned off on stage, which is also a huge relief. And I haven't lost the 3,500 pieces of music on the cloud, which is also a big relief. But the scanning project, the iPad project, is coming to an end very shortly. The scanning company which I've used, a wonderful archive company here in England, they have very nearly finished scanning all the music. So over the summer break, they have been busy sending me lots and lots, hundreds and hundreds of PDFs of music that I've been categorizing on the cloud, putting them in folders like contemporary, sacred, close harmony, Christmas, announcements, all these sort of things they've scanned. And I've put them into folders and sent them all to the chaps, all the music that is applicable to this first term back from September to December. Obviously, everything is still backed up. There's a backup on 3 external hard drives, and I've got a personal cloud at home of 5 terabyte, which is quite a lot of memory. 5 terabyte personal cloud that the whole library is on. Everything the scanning company send me, I pop on there, just in case. You never know. But it's set to be another exciting term. There's some UK dates scattered with hops across to Italy, Switzerland, what have we got? Germany, Poland, France, and Spain, before going to America in December for our Christmas Great American Songbook program, the first time we've sung these programs. Of course, the Christmas Great American Songbook album is out now to buy, but that December trip, this coming December, will be our first time singing it live for people. So we're all very much looking forward, obviously, to that. We finished the term on December the 18th at Washington National Cathedral, which is a truly glorious building. Singing there to a sellout audience a couple of years ago was a real highlight for me, and I'm sure all the other chaps too. But yeah, so that's all from me. Thanks for listening. Please get in touch on our kingsingers.com website. On Facebook, that account is really active, as is our Twitter account. So if you want to contact us individually or as a group, please, any of those 3 are fantastic modes of getting in touch. But why not come to a King Singer show and chat to us afterwards? We'd love to see you. And come and hear the new lineup. It's going to be awesome. So that's all from me. Thanks so much for coming along on this little video blog with me. All the best. Bye for now.